changing gears a little bit, back when you started being a clinical pharmacist and working for these clinics and managed care companies. So I want to educate our listeners and viewers about how that is driven. And I guess what I'm saying is how are doctors and pharmacists that work under doctors incentivized by insurance companies to make sure drug therapy is appropriate? Can you comment on that? Do you know where I'm going with that?
To make sure drug therapy is appropriate? Well, I can tell you for me, in the 25 years that I was doing managed care, I was very thankful that the team that I was with, we made it very clinically sound. We made sure we taught our physicians why we're antibiotics, for example, is a big spender. You spend a lot of money, thousands of dollars on antibiotics. And so to educate them when to use them and when not to use them, not because of the money situation, but because there's antibiotic resistance situation. So every time, or proton pump inhibitors and examples like Prilosec, Protonix.
Yeah.
We were teaching them about that. They were very expensive back in the day. You can buy them over the counter now, and they're still expensive over the counter. But the point is not so much about the money as number one, but safety and efficacy as number one. And then you look at the dollars as number 3 or 4. And my docs had a hard time connecting those dots. They just kept saying, well, you're just the drug police. You're hired to, make things cheap. I'm like, no, I'm trying to tell you that if you keep your patient on Protonix or Nexium or Prilosec or any of these drugs, you're reducing their pH level of their gut. They're not going to be able to digest food very well. You're pulling calcium from their bones. It's interacting with their blood thinners. Long-term use of these drugs does not behoove them. And so it's not about the money. So I kept making it very clinically sound for those 20 years. And I actually was trying to save their job, really. And when I say saving their job, I started to really learn about socialized medicine when the Patient Affordable Care Act came into play. And when we started Medicare Part D came into play. And when you allow the government to provide you a service like medical coverage, same thing like the employer, they're going to tell you what you can and cannot have. So I really took that to heart. So I shifted gears. So even though my docs would give me their high-risk patients, and it was an honor and a privilege to work on those patients, I focused all in on physicians. And I wanted to teach them what socialized medicine is about, what they're being forced to do, what measured outcomes they're being forced to ensure that they meet, like bone density exams or certain screening exams, or making sure a diabetic was on a particular drug or what have you, and how to help them look at their insurance formulary, how to help them get off some of these meds so they're not dealing with paperwork all the time, denials and appeals and so forth, because in the end, we're all sharing that pot of money. And we have to learn. I hope I'm explaining this appropriately for your audience, but insurance does nothing but control your choices. And patients get frustrated with that because they think I have insurance.
Yeah.
It should cover. And it's like, no, you paid into a pot with everybody else, and you're all responsible for everybody else. I have coverage for prostate exams that I'll never use, right? And men have coverage for gynecological exams that they'll never use. Right? Yeah. We're all sharing in this pot. And so I really took the time to try to educate my physicians to take a look at, when you're ready to prescribe something, think twice about it. Is it necessary? What are the outcomes that I'm looking for? Can my patient afford it? Is the risk worth the benefit type of thing? And if you don't know the answer, come get me, because I was just down the hall. And so I tried my best to sound the alarm of appropriate clinical sound treatment, integrative medicine with some of the supplements that I was helping them with, but at the same time, really thinking about the budget and really paying attention that you're going to be, the noose on your neck is going to get tighter and tighter if you don't learn how to manage your practice.